Hey guys, this is One Smith and we are back again with yet another review. Today we are going to be looking at the high-grade Narrative Gundam C-Packs. I'm pretty excited for this kit because I've been waiting very patiently to have this. If you guys don't know, Gundam Narrative, which is a 90-minute movie, bit of a sequel to Unicorn, just came out with its English dub a few months ago in the West. I got to see it with a couple of friends, and while my friends were lost because they're not as in touch with the Gundam lore as I am, they only saw Gundam Wing, I was able to enjoy it. I thought it was a good sequel to Unicorn, but still left a lot of open questions. And even though I was a little bit skeptical of the Narrative Gundam because I felt it was a incomplete new Gundam, matter of fact in the movie they kept referring to it as the Scarecrow, it was very serviceable and I enjoyed this mobile suit for what it was. And I'm pretty excited because the C-Packs is actually my favorite variant of the suit that we got to see in the movie. I've been waiting for a while because I didn't have the room for a mobile armor, so I was going to skip on the A-Packs. And the B-Packs is P Bandai, and you still need the A-Packs in order for it to work. Now, I'm pretty excited because I feel that high grades are really starting to hit their stride here. They're almost becoming mini master grades here. If you guys don't remember, I reviewed the Moon Gundam not too long ago, and that thing was just so revolutionary. I thought Barbatos was really opening the doors with having a full inner frame, but Moon Gundam decided to just take the ball and go home with it, with its color separation, no needs of stickers and everything. It was a fantastic suit, and I hope that the Narrative Gundam can outdo it. Why don't we open up the box and see what we have here? Opening with the box, and you're going to see that the Narrative Gundam in terms of packaging and size is about your fairly average standard high grade. If you guys don't notice, it will be recycling a few bits and pieces from the original A-Packs, but it does come with a whole new set of armor for the C-Packs because unlike the Narrative Gundam, the armor is retrofitted to fit behind Cycle Frame, which is very similar to the way it was done with the Unicorn Gundam. However, I gotta say, I happen to like this little bit of blend of Cycle Frame a little better than I'm used to seeing on the Master Grade Unicorn Gundams. Otherwise, you're gonna get a lot of inner frame, whites, and a bits of grays on top of red Cycle Frame that really pops up in good lighting. You'll be getting a sticker choice of green or red for the eyes and 2 stickers for the head cameras. Otherwise, very minimalistic and should be able to wrap this up in fairly no time. Otherwise, standard kit. All built up, and now we have the C-Packs Narrative Gundam, and I have to say, this thing looks sharp. Has a great amount of panel line details to really bring out that white and gray to break up the monotony in it. And it just looks so sharp with the red Cycle Frame. I think the Cycle Frame is a bit better than even the Unicorn Gundams, at least on a high grade or master grade scale. Otherwise, it's very minimalistic to be surprisingly, because I feel like it's just New Gundam meets Unicorn Gundam. That's it. Very minimalistic, and that might disappoint some people in terms of what they pay for, but what is screen accurate is there. However, I wish there was a choice between red and green Cycle Frame, but I feel that's going to be for a P Bandai kit on the near future. Otherwise, this is a very short kit, but let's see how it does in terms of articulation and detail. Like always, we're going to start with the head. The head can go up and down, double jointed, and 360, no problem. Not even a color problem at this time. Now with the shoulders, they have a cool gimmick to where they can pop out of the side like the Build Branding Gundam, which really helps with articulation. Especially with the arms, they can go out pretty far in 360 no problem thanks to the polycap. Now with the elbow, you're going to get a single jointed elbow, but you get a forearm cut as well that acts like somewhat of a pseudo double jointed elbow. The waist, you're going to get double jointed on the top and the bottom, and it can go 360 no problem thanks to nothing being in the way. Front side skirts can move out as well, but the back is unfortunately stationary. With the legs, you're going to get a beautiful double jointed knee, which spreads out pretty well, and it works pretty good. And then with the ankles, single jointed toe, but double jointed ankles, and a lot of swiveling on the side. It can even go 360. So I would say the articulation of the Narrative Gundam is pretty damn good. Now, just like any kit, the Narrative Gundam is going to come with accessories, and while there aren't a plethora of them to go around, I find that each one is interesting in their own way, so let's get started. First up is the beam rifle, which is essentially a scaled down beam magnum. 3 pieces slapped together, but it looks pretty good and is fairly detailed if you wanted to paint it up. I would say that the Narrative Gundam can pose with it pretty good, especially since it comes with 1 additional trigger hand for exclusively the beam rifle. Get some pretty menacing poses with it. Just standing on it by itself looks pretty intimidating, but when you reach it out on its own, it really does a lot of strike-esque poses very well. And it just looks very intimidating and dominating, just being able to just shoot down anything within its sights. Little, but it's a nice accessory. And if you don't want it to hold it, it has a connection in the back of the back skirt so it can clip onto it, which is a good resource for storage. Next, you're going to get the shield, and the shield is essentially, think of a combination of New Gundam and Unicorn. It's a pretty nice shield, but unfortunately we have one slight issue. The back is not gray. It's shown as gray in the box art, but it's not gray at all. So you would have to paint that. However, despite that, it functions very well. It clips onto the forearm piece in the right hand or the left, and it can do a lot of great defensive posing. And it's a pretty nice looking shield overall. I just wish there was that inner frame piece. We're like 1 step away. Come on, Bandai. Finally, we have the Beam Saber effect parts. Now, I usually don't mention Beam Sabers at all because they're pretty standard for any mobile suit in Gundam, but these are a little bit special. These Beam Sabers are molded within the same runner as the cycle frame, so this is pretty hard plastic in comparison to the almost rubber material used in traditional Beam Sabers. Personally, I would use the standard Beam Saber effect parts, and I would just use the cycle frame beam effect parts that came with the Narrative for a beam effect for the beam rifle. It really works better as an effect part for rifles better than a sword. We are at the end of the review, and I have to say that the Narrative Gundam is pretty darn good. And it's not quite Moon Gundam-esque, but it's just 1 step below. I have a few qualms about it. Just the shield in the back, I really felt it could have benefited from a inner frame part that just slaps on the back, just like we get with the RE100s. Another issue I have is the top of the chest. You see, it's only plugged into a polycap, and it's pretty loose. I just wonder how it's going to hold up long-term wise. A year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. I can always buy another kit, but still, you just kind of wonder, you know? Otherwise, it's very minimalistic in terms of accessories, but the C-Pax Narrative Gundam is worth pretty much almost every penny. It's only $25, a good high-grade kit, and a fine addition to any Universal Century fans collection. And I just highly suggest that anyone who is a fan of Narrative or just the Unicorn, if you kind of want like a New Gundam Unicorn bootleg hybrid, this is the perfect thing for you. This is One-on-One Smith, and I will see you later. Peace.